Yeah, we can't put this on forever, but it was Baraka. You heard that? Baraka. And Omba. Omba. Let me talk a little bit about Omba. You don't know the meaning, you may not know the meaning of Omba, but I can tell. It is pray. Omba Mungu, pray to God. Baraka is a blessing. Baruch. Baruch is Hebrew word for blessing. Today is a steaming hot day here in Norway. You wouldn't believe. It had been raining quite a lot, and I said in my earlier video that if the nations went up to Jerusalem and gave some tzedakah. Tzedakah is, let me Google that. Some charity to God by praying. God will give rain to those countries. So let me show you what is written. I can do some reading.
Zechariah chapter 14. Then the survivors from all the nations that have attacked Jerusalem will go up year after year to worship the King, the Lord Almighty, and to celebrate the Festival of Tabernacles. If any of the peoples of the earth do not go up to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord Almighty, they will have no rain. If the Egyptian people do not go up and take part, they will have no rain. The Lord, will bring on them the plague he inflicts on the nations that do not go up to celebrate the Festival of Tabernacles.
Yeah, so you can see, that is a promise of prayer. I wrote this in Norwegian, of course, on a group, farmers group on Facebook, and I said that we need to do this. And one time I asked a group that is well known for its own atheism. I've been thrown out of every single group that had some debates. Of course, in a group you debate what's in your mind, and maybe not even in your mind, but you like to word out what's in your mind. Not necessarily your personal opinion, but I do that because I like to write. That is my hobby, so to say. That is my drive, because since I had this denial in my upbringing, Nothing I did was to be supported. Nothing I said was confirmed. Nothing I was thinking of were ever embraced, other than by people that didn't know me well. If they knew me, they heard of me, and of course, they didn't embrace what I said. It was toxic. If someone put poison in the well, that's how it come out. Everything you say will be valued after that kind of toxication. But before the toxication of that well, everyone can drink without being sick. But since that well was toxicated, everyone got sick when I said something. When I tried to convey a message, people got sick. Because someone went there before and in advance and toxicated their well. I don't know why people do such evil deeds. And they portray themselves as the best. Well, I am not the best. They're sure of that. I have nothing to brag about, but to toxicate a well that people may have some advancement of shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be done by any means. That you talk badly of others. And I will say so much that prayer, I believe in those groups that I was thrown out was both Christian groups, mostly Christian groups, that didn't like what I had to say. Even atheists group, one promised me not to throw me out ever. And it went a short while. I was thrown out. And he said to my complaint, I said, you promised. Yeah, I know. But there were so many complaints about you that they prayed, can't this man go out? Now those groups went dry. You see, when you stop the soul, when you stop the soul from living, if you stop to pray, don't stop ever stop to pray. That is the soul. You don't pray in a priestly way, no. Pray is to cry, to be angry, to burst out. And if you need to pray, pray is a light in your soul. Omba Pray. Just pray. And where were I? Where was I in this toxic well? I was thrown out. And only not by I was thrown out by that group too, because so many complaints about me and my words, and I have tried to say it in different ways. what I have in mind. And people never get to learn to accept. That is a poor skill from their side. I don't want to portray myself as a victim. No, it's not anywhere near a victimhood. I can't portray myself as a victim. That's bad. If the prophets of Israel were portrayed as victims, I feel that doesn't. But you have to suffer. You see, I've been talking largely about when you say the truth. You know, because people react. People react to truth. People can't stand in sometimes. But when the well is poisoned, that's when everything becomes bad. You have to empty that well. Maybe you have to cover it up with the soil so that it never can be drinking from, because everything is damaged. So maybe the prophets back in those days were living alone, were isolated, not by people. Maybe the people wanted to hear. Even the king, in some occasion, the king came and asked the prophet, and he couldn't even see the prophet. He wanted to see him. He wanted to meet up with him, but he couldn't see him. He sent a message. I wanted to see you. And the prophet pushed him away. Even the king of Israel, he pushed away. Naaman was asked to bathe in Jordan 7 times. Go clean yourself in Jordan 7 times. And the king was not humiliated enough. Not only did he not get to see him, Naaman wanted to see him. That was his control over this prophet. I think I wanted to be disputed, but maybe that is a sign. If the king see you, even if he is the needy one, that is a kind of control that he want to inflict on the prophet. But the prophet kept away. The prophet said, go and clean yourself 7 times. What a brain dead, what a moron would go into the river Jordan and repeat this 7 times. It doesn't give any sense. And of course, he had to be humiliated, naked, in front of everyone. He bathed in Jordan. Maybe the Jordan River carry with it not that clean water. It's muddy. It's maybe the Jordan were never intoxicated, but I don't know. It had a bad rumor that even this river Jordan, you can go and have a bath. And I've seen many, I know of many Christians that have been baptized in River Jordan. I don't know why people are so hanged up on such issues. They think that there is so much more to that and just go into the river. It's I don't know whether they got a message from the prophet or not. People are sheeps without any brain. They just follow the bell. So to pray, my friend, it's promised. And to pray, I asked this group, which it was made for me. Now it's 10,000 members, if not more. It was more some time back. The group was made for me, and I said, and this was an atheist group, can you please be with me in prayer for this and this? And they mocked me out of this debate. Why would you ask atheists to pray? I said, that is the honest prayer you can get. You never get any more honest prayer than an atheist. So let me hand it to you. That is the honest prayer. Christians will pray for self-benefit, but not by atheists. If they pray, it will not be for their own sake. It will be for maybe charity. I can recommend that atheists start praying as a good sign of charity. Even if they don't believe in God, they can pray. I believe more an atheist than a Christian, because there is honesty to be an atheist. There is much more honesty than Christians have proved to be known for, because they stand on the podium and pray as it's a show. I did that back in those days. I did it with my heart, of course, but I'm bewildered. Why? How come I went so far? Maybe the Spirit. I can argue the Spirit drove me. I don't know. I just wish that I knew better or more. I don't know. I have no clue about such things that I did. But I felt that I had to say something. I was praying to God by the time of youth. If you exist, I often ask God if you exist. So I had this this watch, this clock or watch, wrist watch. And I got it from my mother, and she said, you can have this because you lost yours. It was stolen, and you can have this. And I didn't really like it because it was a woman's watch. And I felt humiliated by the watch. So it stopped. The watch stopped. Didn't work. And I asked God, because something of this watch told me this is something unique. So I asked God, more or less for fun. But I was more in need of knowing that God exists. God is there. God is near, close by. So I was in my crisis. Back in those age. I think I was 9 years old. I was in a crisis of God's existence, of my value. Maybe because I lost contact with my parents. They went away to do the missionary thing, and we were placed, siblings, at the boarding, some kind of a private boarding, and I was in kind of a lost situation. I didn't know how come everything. So I put my hand on my watch like this and said, if you exist, this will start. And the situation with the case with my watch was that I tried to twist it. It was this spring watch, and maybe it moved a little bit but stopped. And in the end, when I couldn't twist it anymore, it didn't go. I remember this very well. Something like that you wouldn't forget. And I said those words, if you exist, please let this watch go. And when I put this back, I didn't really believe my eyes. It was going. And it was not randomly stopped. It stopped randomly, of course, but I tried to turn it, knock it, and did everything. No, it wouldn't start. But these words, I prayed, if you exist. And it worked. And that was some kind of a testimony, personal testimony, that God, even though we can't see, we can't really know, it is boggling our mind to the degree that we doubt. And I think that kind of doubt is with ourselves, our ability to see the broader picture, not about God. We can't know about God, that's for sure. And even though I have been 65, I doubt, of course, I doubt. And I remember this occasion. And my sister had some similar occasion about the dog we had. To those that follow me on Facebook, they know that I write about dogs. And I was brought up partly with dogs. And my sister, we had this dog Dingo. And she said, because the dog become sick, and we didn't know really what kind of sickness that was. And she said, it was more or less kaput, like my watch didn't work. And this dog was just laying there, and at this mission station we didn't know what to do. It was impossible to get a veterinarian, and the nurse looked at it, can't do anything. And my sister said to her mom, it's written that we can pray. God saves animals like he saves you. So they agreed to pray for this dog. And the day after, before they went to sleep, they prayed. And the day after, Dingo came licked everyone. I don't know. And that was a touching moment of answered prayer. And I also told about my mom that made this dinner that she knew for those guests. This dinner will be not enough. And she asked us children not to eat so much. And we sat at the table, and she knew I haven't enough. And as a mother and a wife and a host, she felt very ashamed. And people, the guests, were eating so much because my mother, they came, yes, because of my food, the food of my mother, and they liked it so much. So she said, I prayed to God over this stove, this food, and said, God bless this food so it's enough. And look here, it's enough. So it's personal experience that the atheists can't come around. They will come up with excuses that don't seem rational and sensible, but they have all these kind of excuses that maybe this and maybe that, and just for the sake of not admitting that God exists. So this word here in the Zachariah, that is something I would like to remind everybody of, because we have to bring praise, we have to worship the King, show that we embrace Israel, Jerusalem, to the extent that it's on our survival as a nation. God will bless every nation. God said to Hagar, the nation of Arabs, Ismail, that you will be blessed. You will be so large of a people that you can't count. Can you count them now? Yes, you can count them, but maybe there are people that are not registered. There are many people that is under the radar, in the shadows, that can't be registered. So how blessed is that nation? Ismail is blessed. Big people, influenced people. So my friends, don't pray as priests do, stand there and pray for everyone just to be shown. Pray every day. Lit a candle, lit your light, and I think that you will be reminded of the Word of God, that God saves a humble, a seeking heart. It's those occasions that you will be reminded of. And you have in your life occasions that you can't really get around without mentioning that God may have been there and saved me, or blessed me, or whatever. I wish you all shalom.